What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Spookycast episode. This is going to be...
How am I recording 3 of these? I made the joke that I'd record 1 and I've been looped into 3. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. Hey, it's whatever. It's what's going on. But what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Spooky Podcast. This is our third out of 4 for the month of October. And this week, we are joined by Alessandro and my boy, Daz. How are you guys doing?
What's up? I'm doing amazing. It is my month. That's right. It's spooky month. Ergo, watch out or I will fucking eat your candy and your ass. That's right.
In that order?
Yep. It'd be great.
Nice.
I'm gonna shove some Tootsie Rolls in that bitch.
Ooh, some variety of life.
Oh yeah.
So,
Like,
this episode is specifically going to be about video games, or more specifically, spooky video games, scary video games, video games in
spooky, scary
Halloween genre. Yeah.
Me? Skeletons? What? That's right.
Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
Ah.
So I right off the bat, I want to pose a question to you guys. Right off the bat, what is a spooky video game that you think is overrated?
Ooh. Damn. Hard-hitting questions from the get-go.
Because I can think of one right off the bat. And now, honestly, this is a video game that I've seen a lot of people play. I've played the first game, or the first night, and I wasn't terribly impressed. I might be more impressed later down the line once it's all out. But Poppy's Playtime, I think, is overrated.
See, I've played through Poppy. The Crypt Keeper really wanted to watch me play it, and while I will say it's not like the most terrifying game in the world, the atmosphere is good. The first chapter kind of sucked dick. Like, it sucked real big dick.
Yeah.
Second chapter, much better. Third chapter, piece de resistance. If the fourth chapter is better, I'll be happy.
I know my choice. It's a Dead by Daylight. I think that shit's
really?
So dumb. Yeah, I think that shit's dumb as fuck.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, like, I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've screamed in Dead by Daylight, and usually it's either when I first started playing, or after a very long extended break, so I forget what the killers do, so they actually surprise me. But after that, it just becomes like Call of Duty, but while you're getting murdered.
Yeah. It's the same thing over and over again, right? Fix the hatches.
Well, it's fix the generators.
Fix the generators.
And then if everybody else dies, but you've done some gen,
the hatch.
A hatch will pop open, and it'll
there's nothing else in that game, right? Like, I'm not...
Nope.
Okay.
That's it.
No, it's just fix the generators, try to survive. If you're the killer, kill everyone and just fuck with them. But honestly, Dead by Daylight is... I really like Dead by Daylight if it's with the right people, but I can totally understand where you're coming from, Al, because it can get very, very repetitive.
Yeah, like, I think I have somewhere close to 200 hours in it, and most of it was played during, like, COVID lockdown, and it was just because it was the game of the month. But I think my overrated pick, Silent Hill 2. I know, very hot take, but let me cook. I played that game when it came out as, I think I was really freaking young. I want to say, no, I don't think it was when it came out.
Mans was in the crib.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, I think I was 6 or 7, because it was like one of my first PS2 games I ever bought, and my parents weren't really paying attention to the PS2 games I was buying, to be real. But I played it then, I replayed it recently, and I was just disappointed. It's just not that good. The atmospheric horror is really good, but like the psychological horror is just meh. The gameplay's good for the time. Like, I'm trying not to judge it based on gameplay from over 2 decades ago now. But it's like the writing, the psychological horror, not great. Like, people pretend like it's, or I guess maybe at the time it was like the second greatest thing since sliced bread, but damn, it does not hold up well. And I don't think it held up well back then because I was 6 or 7 and beat it. So, like,
he beat it. He beat it in an hour, folks.
Not in an hour, but like if a 6 or 7-year-old can beat your apparently very scary horror game, like, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe I'm
7-year-old
weird.
should at least be shitting their pants playing this.
Yeah, dude. Like, I watched The Grudge at like 5 because my mom accidentally left HBO Max on, and that scared the piss out of me. But Silent Hill 2, no, I could play that at night and it really wouldn't bother me. Like,
All right, I mean, honestly, that's
Uh-huh.
fair. They haven't really even come out with a decently good adaptation in movie form either. So
oh yeah. Oh, all of them.
there's
Movies
that.
are terrible.
which we'll cover next week. We'll
Yes,
cover that.
yes. We'll cover really bad horror movies. I like that. That's a good
Really,
idea.
really bad. Well, just horror movies in general, but yes. Okay, so we talked about our picks for overrated. What do you think is one of the best horror games that you have played of all time?
Ooh, I'll bite immediately if y'all are okay with that. I don't mean to talk back to back, but
Go.
there is one horror game that I have never finished, and one horror game that consistently makes me have to take a break because it scares me that much.
All right.
Alien Isolation is fucking terrifying, bro.
Dude, that was literally gonna be my answer.
Yes.
That was gonna be my answer. I got
Haha,
Alien Isolation for
fucking
free
yoink.
on like Epic. They give it games free like crazy. I remember I was playing with a friend, and they're like, "Hey, I gotta go to bed." And I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, I'll keep playing. I think I'm doing okay so far." And then I just see the tail, and I go, "Alt F4, I'm done."
Yep. Like, I played it on a charity stream, once upon a time when maybe a friend of mine was streaming it, not myself, of course. But and the friend played it in VR, and then got so scared the friend curled up into a ball in the fetal position because there's a VR mod for it,
Yep.
and it's fucking terrifying when the alien grabs you out of a fucking vent and just zoop.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
And the AI learns, so you have to like change how you're playing.
How you're
and
playing
it's
it
just,
and doing, yeah.
oh, and if you're an absolute masochist, you can have it pay attention to your microphone. And it's even worse. I've gotten like halfway through the game like 3 times.
Yeah. Okay.
Each time for charity, at least, though. So it's for a good cause.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I'm gonna go a bit out of the ordinary and just out of left field. I think PT is probably one of the best games, even though it's just a teaser. I think it's horrifying beyond belief.
Oh, hands down. Like, in high school, my girlfriend at the time, her little brother had installed PT before I got a PS4, right? And then I bought a PS4 for Destiny. And then, like, 2 days before I got the PS4, they took it off the PlayStation Store. And I'm still upset about it because, like, playing PT and having the radio go, "Look behind you," and you're like, "Nah, I'm not going to do it." And they go, "No, I mean it. Look behind you." And it's like,
No, man, yeah, right. It's just like it was so freaking terrifying. Just the
So ahead of
loops
its time.
over and over, and just all the imagery that was in the game or in the teasers, like the dead baby in the fucking sink, the eyeball in the walls. Like, what the hell is actually going on here? What is going on? Why can't I escape?
That is psychological horror. Like, PT is a fantastic grasp at like the fundamentals of psychological horror because there are not that many scares in PT. It is mostly ambiance, set dressing, and good atmosphere. So like ambiance and atmosphere are a little different because I feel like ambiance is like, sound design, but the atmosphere in PT after your first like 4 or 5 loops just it makes it hard for you to turn off your PC and walk across the hall to your room. Or not your PC, your PS4, pardon me. But you know what I mean? Like I still remember turning off the light and then running as fast as I could up the stairs to my bedroom in high school. because that's how like terrified I was of that game.
Funny enough, that's exactly what I did. I talked about this on the first Spookycast. That's exactly what I did in an old house that me and my family used to visit every once in a while.
Oh fuck yeah, yeah! You got to turn off that light and then outrun the demon, bro.
Oh hell yeah! It's like everything's back there. You don't know what's behind you.
See, thankfully I'm dead, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. But you know, just saying, like that shit's scary.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't want that shit in my crypt.
Big time scary. Yeah.
But it wants to be in your crypt.
I know, dude. We keep getting these stragglers, right? And I'm like, listen, man, like, I get it. I do. It sucks when you don't have your own crypt. But as you can see, we're still under construction. I've been trying to get Jean to fix that fucking pillar for like 6 months now. Do you know how hard it is to get a masonry guy out here? He just sees a man with no face and gets scared. And like, I get it, but like, you know, it's a little fucked up. I'm just saying.
All right.
When the homie can't get his masonry fixed.
That's bro. I'm just saying. Like, come on. I wanted to be nice in here.
Are there any indie games that you think are just top tier shelf, like some of the best? Because honestly, going back from the early 2000s to very recently, I think indie games are some of the best horror genre that can be out there.
You know, I'm thinking, and one I really enjoyed that I actually found because of the sequel, which is like a Black Ops Zombies clone, is Made of Skirt. Really fucking good indie horror game.
Ooh,
really enjoyed it.
Okay.
If you haven't played it, I recommend giving it a shot. I won't ruin anything, but it does give some Call of Cthulhu type vibes if you've played that game, which is also by an indie dev and also very, very good.
Interesting. So I'm going to recommend Fears to Fathom. If you've heard of that or not, that's totally fine because it's an indie game. It's an indie series actually that came out. I want to say I think the first one came out in 2021. And it's kind of point and click, but it's also exploratory as well. Like it's very psychological and suspenseful.
I think that a game doesn't have to have amazing, really anything to be a good horror game. Like Undertale, there were times where like it would throw you a curveball and it would give me chills because the writing was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You're doing the genocide run and it just knows that you fucked up before, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Graphics couldn't be absolute shit if the horror and the story is amazing. And the ones that I've played, these Fear to Fathom games are amazing.
Yeah,
because it gives that old mid 80s to early 90s like VHS type vibe in their atmosphere.
Yeah.
And environment.
Oh man, I can't remember what it was. There's one. I don't know. It's not indie. I don't actually know. I don't even think it's indie because it got very popular. But the one with like the duck hunt with the dog, like the VR game, I think is what it is.
Oh no, that's an indie game. That's by Corridor, the guy who did Corridor Digital. It's also the guys who did like Video Game High School.
Yeah, what's that one called?
I think it's literally called Duck Season or something.
Yeah.
Duck Season, yeah. Oh my god, dude, I am just I am the game historian. What the fuck, man?
Because that one's pretty fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially too, like there are times if you go back to the main menu while you're playing through the the story, you will actually be able to see the mascot of Duck Season just creeping around in the background. It's fucking terrifying. It's the same thing as like the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted series is like absolutely horrifying. Not my favorite. Gotta be real. Like I am not really scared of Five Nights at Freddy's games, but the VR version is just good.
Well,
It's just
yeah,
good.
because you're just in it.
Yeah. Well, it's also just that you can tell that they have a really good understanding of why FNAF can be creepy. And they don't necessarily always rely on the jump scares aspect of it. And the
Yeah.
reason I kind of pull them together is you can also see Springtrap fucking like bebopping around in the background as you progress through the game, which is creepy the first time you notice.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, like the FNAF games weren't ever really big on the story element. Like there were hints here and there, like people, like fans built up the lore. Scott Cawthon started to build up the lore each and every game, like here and there. Like, but the first and second one, like the first one was scary in the fact that you couldn't move
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were stuck.
and you were stuck in one place. You could only like switch the lights on, close the doors, and whatnot. It's like that got repetitive, but it was scary the first maybe first or second time that you played it. Then you get to the second game, you got a lot more characters, you got a lot more things you have to
Like,
avoid,
mechanics.
and then you get to the third game where you get Springtrap. You just got the ventilations, the electricity, and whatnot. It's a whole fucking thing.
Thinking about it too, I think the reason why FNAF was so successful was
Markiplier.
not even really just Markiplier, but like people as a whole, right, started to enjoy difficult video games again because of Souls games. I'm making that crazy connection, but if you like really think about it, we've had like a resurgence in terribly difficult like video games like Darkest Dungeon and stuff like that. But I won't go super off topic because I know we're on Spookycast, but I just made that connection and I was like, you know what? It's just crazy to think about because they're so completely different games, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. Like we got friggin' Elden Ring and all the Souls like games.
Oh yeah.
I think what also helps with games is now they're giving the option of, hey, yes, your friends are on the other side of the world, but guess what? You can both shit each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Because most Spooky games are now offering some kind of like co-op mode. And even like Among Us itself, right? Not a spooky game. It's little pixels, it's cute and funny. But
Yeah.
when you're playing with your friends,
Open mic.
open mic, and you know one of your friends is a little too good at being the imposter, oh, it's fucking terrifying. Because you're just like, wait, are you the
Like,
imposter?
can I really trust you?
Yeah, it's like, are you the imposter this round? And your friend's like, nah, dog, not me. You're like, all right, cool. Can you watch me
And
do
then you
this?
wake
Yeah,
up
of course,
dead.
I got you. Yeah, you're like, can you watch me do this? They're like, yeah, I got you, dog. Don't worry about it. And then, psych, bitch.
No betrayal.
Like a, you know, and I
There's-
think. Oh, go ahead.
There's like a certain of you want to be scared and you want to play with your friends. Here are these games. You have Among Us. You have
Phasmophobia. Yeah.
You've also got Unfortunate Spacemen is another good like.
Unfortunate
Amogus-like.
Spaceman. Yeah, Unfortunate Spaceman was really fun. I played that with some friends. You also have Lethal Company, which was kind of creepy for a while when you first if you didn't really know what you're doing. Because you just turn a corner and you see a spider the size of freaking a dog, and you're like, oh.
And then you shit your pants, and everybody's embarrassed.
And then you also had content warning, which is really creepy itself, too.
Yeah.
You know, there was just kind of out of nowhere a certain of, yes, spookiness, but shoot yourself with your friends.
And you know, I think the new Among Us kind of for now will be Lockdown Protocol. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that.
I've seen that one.
Speaking of more good indie dev games,
that game is great.
Deceit.
Yep.
I played the fuck out of Deceit on Lockdown, and they actually ended up posting one of my clips on Twitter.
Nice.
Which was super cool.
Yeah, but I think that's horror games are fun, right?
Yeah.
But it's fun when you have a friend right next to you, but it's also just as fun when you're playing with said friend, like
on the same side.
No, yeah.
even just across just through the internet. Like me and John Boy played Dying Light 1 together.
Oh, that's awesome!
Nice.
And it was great. And it was I talked about it on the last episode. there'd be times where we're playing and the night would go down, and he goes, "Hey Al," and I go, "Yeah, we're like a 10-minute run from the base, and there's all those everywhere," and I go, "Cool." So what I'm hearing is we're dead.
And like, I think what the best part too about like, especially Dying Light, before Dying Light 2 came out was, like, and you can still to an extent see this now, but random players would invade you as alpha zombies,
Yep.
and then you and your buddies would have to defend yourselves in a very similar to like Souls-like fashion of invasions. Just randomly, yeah, there's an alpha zombie chasing you now. No warning. Get fucked, shit lips.
Yeah, you'd get like the text that's like you would get the message it'd be like player blah 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 has joined the game, and you're like, oh cool, and then you look on the thing and it just shows like a red X around them, and you're
Yep.
like, that's not
cool.
cool anymore. What do you mean they decided to become volatile? No,
yeah,
please.
yeah. Horror playing horror multiplayer can either be so fun with your friends, or with your friends it can be so much more terrifying because you hear their screams and just what's going on? Oh my God, there's something over there.
Me and some friends, we played Inside the Backrooms together, and they have in-game walkies, and it's so much fun because you're just like panicking, running away from an entity, and I just hear, no, please, just like cut out.
Because it's so good because you're like, yeah, I'm over in sector 2. There's nothing. Oh, cool, I found this. You find anything yet? It's like, yeah, I'm good. And then your friend turns into
oh shit! What the fuck is that? It's a dog.
Your friend turns into the 5-star voice actor you've ever heard.
Oh
and
yeah.
You just hear, Jesus, help, Josh, someone, please, fuck. And you're just like, I have to.
And then you get me. You give him back. You give him back right now.
And you're like, I have to go find this body now. Because he had things we need.
And you know they're dead.
Oh yeah, they're like so fucked.
Yeah. Speaking of the back rooms, like
I don't get it.
It's not everyone's game. I understand that. Like,
no, I just don't get the whole thing in general.
Okay, yeah.
What the hell is it?
I've no fucking clue. There have been a lot of backroom games. Like, is there any kind of connection, or is it just an open source lore like with fucking Lovecraft?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea what the hell any of it.
Inside the Backrooms is basically like SCP, but if the SCP wiki was unmoderated. But wait, I do want to speak because we're talking about like indie game gems, right?
At the moment, yeah.
There is a game called Panicore. Are either of you familiar?
No.
So Panicore is this game where, you, and I think it's up to 5 players that, if you're not playing the demo, will, go and kind of try and find some different things. The thing that's terrifying is the monsters will copy your voice.
I've seen that. Okay, I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that.
So, like, you're running around, doing your thing with your buddies, talking to each other, and that's why it really encourages you not to use Discord. And then you'll hear me go, "Hey, Josh." And you go, "Yeah, what's going on, buddy?"
"Hey, what's up, bud?"
"I'm looking for this thing." "Oh, sure. I don't think I've seen it." "Yeah. Can you come here?" And then just, like, it's so cool. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That looks interesting.
Oh yeah, dude, it is so fucking cool. I've been following it for a while now. I'm waiting for it to get a few more updates before I decide to buy it. Because I don't want to do the typical thing where I buy a game and then it turns out to be garbage because it just stops getting updated.
I mean, it's only $5.
I mean, yeah, but like,
you know what I can do with $5?
Hey,
I can go over to Al's house and he'll get me some nice Mexican food for $5.
It's
$5.
Yeah, taco. We'll get you like 2 tacos.
Hey yo. No, yeah. Panicore looks and sounds really interesting to play. We definitely got to check that out sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, there have been so many video games that have been great, and so many that have been bad, but a lot more that have been great than anything else.
Yeah.
What's
Well, because horror's one of those ones where it's really you either hit it or you don't.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Fucking Friday the 13th, the game.
Oh god, that game was such a joke.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Did the
it's
game
so
get
bad.
sold or something?
So what the issue was that they got licensing rights from the studio for Friday the 13th, and they did not get licensing for the Friday the 13th music because the guy
Ooh.
who made the music still owned the rights. But they assumed that the studio, because they bought the rights to the movies, also bought the rights to the music. And then that dude didn't want to sit down with them and like basically sell them licensing rights. Which doesn't mean that they own that shit, it just means they can use it.
Well,
So
fuck.
then they had to stop updating the game and just continue to make sure that it was functional.
All right, interesting.
And then if I remember correctly, that team went on to make that Leatherface game. That was also not great. So,
Okay.
I mean, what are you going to do? Also, hi, Daz the Ghost, internet historian and video game turbo nerd. Thank you. Endless fountain of useless information.
We're lucky to have him because I wouldn't know any of this shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. It's here's each of us. Here's what's great about Zero Zeros. This is gonna believe tell you off topic about.
Yeah,
Each
yeah.
of us is very strong. Keep this in, by the way. Each of us is very strong, and when it comes to specific topics, you want really specific computer problems and like internet history, you get Daz.
Mm-hmm.
You want very specific like internet stuff that's going on, like animation style, you go to Josh. You want very specific and weeb stuff, you go to Josh, and weeb stuff for me as well. You want very specific niche cartoon information, and then like weird like, oh man, this guy's kind of dumb, but then you realize I know a lot of really information when it comes to strategic stuff and being odd. You come to me. You want funny stuff, Chandler. You want a little bit of everything, Jason. For some reason, he just knows a lot of everything, and he knows how to fix a lot of everything. It's the funniest thing too, because right, like I said, Daz, computer guy, right? He'll need help with a real life thing that he knows somewhat to do, and he'll go, "Hey, Jason, I'm doing this with this, and I'm thinking of this. Do you think this will work out well?" And Jason will go, "No, this is what you need to do before you break this forever, and you can never get your thing back." And Hunter goes, "Cool, because that's what I was gonna do. Glad I texted you."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like I've done handyman stuff before, and I've done so many different like turbo things, but unfortunately, I'm the type of guy who knows a little about a lot of things, right?
I think
Oh,
it's
yeah,
when-
big time.
that's great. You want very niche horror information about things, you come to me. This is my month. The amount of facts I've given these boys when we were just talking about stuff recently when it comes to horror movies, and Daz and Josh have gone, "Why do you know this?" Has been great.
not just you. Like we're keeping this. I'm sorry, but this is going off tangent. But like we're keeping this in. Not just you, but Chandler knows the wildest things that I would never have guessed him to know either.
Oh yeah, I mean,
It's so
at
bizarre.
least with most of us, you know what you're getting on the tin. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I really like watching bad movies, especially bad horror movies. Al's over here like, yeah, did you know that actually Guillermo del Toro had a flu during this shoot? And I'm like, why does that matter? Where did you hear that? And he's like, oh,
Like
he
you
talked
want-
about it in an interview in like 2006. And I'm like,
Like, oh, you want Star Wars and Transformers topics? Come to me.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, actually, when he was filming this, he actually really had a weird bunion that his doctor had to go get removed. Why do you know that? I have his medical history.
Oh my God.
Anyways, back on topic.
back on topic.
Yeah. That Friday the 13th game just fucked from the start, wasn't it?
Oh, 1,000 trillion million %. Like, I think it was one of those games that was really, really fun for like a week because a lot of YouTubers were playing it and they showed basically the game at its best. And then you went to actually go play with not a 5 stack and you're like, wow, this game's fucking terrible. It's like, holy shit. You know, like, I get that we're supposed to be taking turns to play the killer, but what happens is you get in a lobby, right? And then you're sitting there and you're waiting. You're like, okay, the game's gonna choose who gets to be the killer. Oh, that guy didn't get the killer, but he wanted to be, so he left. Fuck. And then you sit there and repeat that for at least 30 minutes. Like,
I never played it. Actually, that's a lie. I played it once, and I think that's what happened to me. And I was like, I don't want to sit in this for an hour and a half.
Yeah, I was about to say I've played maybe 3 matches of that game, like overall of all time, and I think I have 4 hours of play time in the game. If that says anything.
Yeah, like I. This is gonna say a lot about me as a gamer, because you guys know how into
So you're
gaming.
a very bad one. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, that I'm a very bad how into gaming I am. I've never finished the Resident Evil 2 remake game.
What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Why
I
don't
was
you
scared.
Like
It's so fucking scary.
Why don't you love yourself?
It's
yourself.
scary.
No, it's okay. You can just love yourself. It's fine.
Mr. X wants my ass.
Yeah, and he's gonna get it. It's okay.
Have you not seen that?
Honestly, Resident Evil 2 is probably the best Resident Evil remake they've made.
Honestly, I will agree. Yeah.
Because like 3, they like cut out so much fucking content.
I've heard.
Like if you play original 3, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, this is like 20 hours worth of gameplay or something along those lines, I would say. That's a lot for, I think Resident Evil 3 originally came out, I don't know, maybe like in the early 2000s or very late 90s, something like that. But the new game is like the brand new one. 15 hours, 10 hours or some shit like that. It was really middling to me because they just
reading
cut out an entire act.
Because people were like, 2, wow, remake, just wow. Can't wait to see the remakes for the rest of them. And then people were like, why is there so much missing?
Wait. No, I think it was even less. Let me see what my playtime is. Because I remember I 100%ed the game. Give me a second. 6.5 hours!
Jesus.
6.5 hours! And I 100%ed the game!
I kind of want to play 4. I want to play the remake for 4. That's the one I remember.
The remake for 4 is great. That's why I was like, I think if we're kind of ranking the remakes, if you will, it's like 2, 4, and then 3. Because 3 is bad.
You know what game is also spooky, but I forget that it is spooky because of how much fun it is?
What's that?
Hunt.
Oh yeah, dude. Hunt scared the fuck out of me when I first played it.
Hunt Shadow. I was looking at it right now. I was looking at
Showdown.
Yeah. I was looking at it right now. I was looking at the Resident Evil on Steam, and I saw it, and I was like, wait, that game's technically a spooky game.
Hunt Showdown actually got basically a re-release not too long ago where they really revamped a lot of the things that had issues from what I was at least reading. I'm not sure.
I saw that and I thought about, might be time to put on my big boy bootstraps.
Hey, I mean, you know where I live. I'm just saying. You know that I'm about to get a cowboy rifle as my next gun, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why we're going to a certain land down south to get you a hat.
Hey, yo. But before we go, I also want to bring up 2 video game titles that I don't think we've talked about yet. No, fuck you, my show. Okay. So have either of you played Little Nightmares?
Yep.
Yeah, I love Little Nightmares.
Both games
Little Nightmares is great.
And he gave me Little Nightmares.
Yeah, it definitely spooked the fuck out of me, the first one, because I think I was still at that age where, psychological horror, I didn't understand why it scared me, which meant that it scared me more than it does now. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because I couldn't, process the reason I was feeling the way I was feeling or whatever. But, Little Nightmares does such a really good job of portraying what trauma does to children, which I think is cool. And I think that's why if you look at all the underlying themes, you're like, oh fuck, this is an artistic statement and a really spooky game. Which
the visuals are amazing in that. Very, very spooky. The other one I wanted to mention is Bramble, the Mountain King. Have either of you looked that up or checked it out?
I think I remember seeing people play it. I want to say. That didn't come out a crazy long time ago, did it?
No, it actually came out in 2023. April 2023.
That's it's based on Norse mythology, or not mythology, fables. I want to like folktales. Folktales? Is that right?
Yeah. It's inspired by Nordic fables.
There you go.
So
Those are the ones.
if you think of the song in the Hall of the Mountain King, basically whatever you can imagine from that is kind of the vibe, because in the Hall of the Mountain King is pretty intense.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like Norse mythology it's like Nordic and Germanic cultures.
Mm-hmm.
Their fairy tales are fucking terrifying because the whole point was scare the shit out of children so that way they don't act up and accidentally get themselves killed. And I love that, dude.
Oh yeah,
They really had some
absolutely.
twisted minds back in the day.
Brothers Grimm, not your run of the mill. Oh, I'm gonna be a princess. No, all
Mama
dark and grim.
Ghost used to fucking read me the Brothers Grimm fairy tales, like the
Oh.
OGs. Like, because we lived in a forest growing up, and
Oh no.
you know, believe it or not, I had a fear of the dark for much longer than is really acceptable for a child, because this woman continuously would read me up until like age 7 Grimm fairy tales in the evenings, and they go, "All right, go to bed, kid."
Mama,
Like,
what
fucking
happened to
what?
Snow? Mama, what happened to Snow White? Oh, she died.
Yeah, she died real hard. Later, kid.
But
Fucking what? Yeah,
but
don't
in the
take first
movie,
fingers, you
yeah,
idiot.
don't talk about the movie.
Mommy, will you check the closet? You think they can't open doors? What? Good night.
What, you don't think they're coming out from
Bro,
under your bed?
oh my god. We'll have to have Mama Ghost on a pod at some point, but one of the stellar moments of my childhood was we had watched a horror movie, and then I was so scared I barricaded my door with my dresser.
That's scary.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Ooh.
man. And I lived on the second floor, so there was literally no way to get into that room other than the door.
Fun.
Right?
So in times of trial, jump out the window.
Oh, yeah.
Good times, good times. Well, that is going to be it for this week's Spookycast episode, Absolute Zeros podcast. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy. Al, Daz, thanks for coming on. It's been a treat. And
How did I get open to 3 of these? How did I get open to 3?
how? Seriously, you didn't want to do the first one.
I did the first one because we were literally right next to each other, and I couldn't be like, no, I don't want to.
It's like, hey, no, we're doing this. We need to do this. It's been a month. Fuck you. So if you guys are gonna stick around, make sure to check out next week's Spookycast Absolute Zeros podcast episode, because we will be having a return Mr. Know-It-All with talking about horror movies. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. We will return next Sunday, for our final Spookycast episode. And with that being said, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your week and have a happy Halloween month. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy Halloween. I will steal all of your food. Thank you. Bye.
What the fuck?